to me, I'm guessing the goal of it was just to be creative and make music. That's all. That's it. But do you have are there other future ambitions? Is there more ambitions? Is there more you hope to get out of this, though?
Just the enjoyment of being musically creative,
Right.
and that's it. I mean, I'm under no illusions that I'm going to get another record deal.
Right.
You know, Capitol Records is not going to call and offer me a deal again.
Right.
But that's fine. That's fine. You know, it's a fun band. It's a good band, and we play live gigs. You know, like 2 or 3 times a year.
Right.
And we make our records, and that's enough. I mean,
Right.
it's just fun.
You're listening to Screenwriters Need to Hear This with Michael Jamin.
Hey everyone, it's Michael Jamin. Welcome back to Screenwriters Need to Hear This. I got another good guest for you. This is another reason to sit through me talking, because my guest is actually an old friend of mine, and his name is Vance DeGeneres, comedy writer, TV producer, film executive, musician. And I met Vance many years ago. I'm gonna tell a quick story, Vance, and then I'll let you chime in for the rest of the interview. First of all, I want to get the elephant out of the room. Yes, Vance, his little sister is someone you may have heard of, Ellen DeGeneres, but we're not talking about her now. We're talking about you, Vance, so stop bringing her up.
Yeah, please.
Please. So I met Vance many years ago on my first job as a comedy writer. I was a comedy writer on a show on the Mike and Maddie show. It was a morning TV show. I was very nervous, very excited, didn't know anything about the business. And Vance was the other guy, the other comedy writer. We shared an office, and I was like, Vance, I don't really know what I'm doing here. And Vance was like, it's okay, we'll be okay. I'm not sure if Vance knew what he was doing, but I did everything you did, Vance. I wore shoes to the set. I wore a jacket to the set. I did whatever you told me to do. Whatever you did, I just copied. And you were
and look where you are today.
I'm sitting in front of my computer screen in my garage.
Can I just say, I do have to thank you, because were it not for you, I wouldn't be able to do this.
That's right. We did a lot of that, and you got nice.
You taught me to juggle.
I taught you that. I didn't.
You
what
taught
else
me
did
to
I
juggle.
teach? Didn't I teach you how to love as well?
Well, I was going to say that, but since you brought it up, yes.
Vance has. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, you know, I think we laughed a lot in that office. It was an interesting job.
Did we make anyone laugh? I'm not. I was here 6
we
months.
made ourselves laugh.
We made each other laugh, and then on 6 month time, they showed me to the door.
Yeah, and I didn't last a lot longer.
You didn't? I don't remember. But you've had such an amazing career, Vance, because you've done something like you're truly a very creative person, and you've made a career out of being creative, but not pigeonholed in any one category. Like I'm going to start by refreshing your memory how much you've worked in the business. I guess you first started. You were a musician. You in a band called House of Shock, which was Gina Shock, who was in the Go-Go's. You formed a band with her, right? Was that your first band?
No. Well, very quickly, I had been in bands since 7th grade. I had my first garage band.
Right.
And then I was in a really successful band in New Orleans called The Cold in the early 80s.
Right.
And then I moved out to Los Angeles in 85. And the Go-Go's had broken up, and a friend introduced me to Gina, and we put together House of Shock. And so she and I were partners on that. And
you toured a lot with her?
No, we didn't tour a lot, but Gina and I wrote the album, and it came out. We were on Capitol Records, and that came out in 88.
Now, when you moved to LA, was it to become? I mean, it's weird. You know, you're a very, very funny, very talented comedy writer. But is music really your first love? I mean, look at your background there.
My first love is music, but I had done. Okay. I've got such a checkered a career path. Originally, I had done oh boy, yeah, it's too much to get into, but I was the original Mr. Hands of the Mr. Bill show.
And I want to talk about that. Okay, so that came first.
After yes, when I was 18, I guess I met this guy Walter Williams, and we got an apartment together, and we started doing. We were both big Bob and Ray fans.
Right.
You know Bob and Ray, right?
Yeah, Chris Elliott's dad. That's how I think.
Yeah, exactly. But they used to do this improvisational comedy, and so we thought, we can probably take a crack at that. So we started doing little comedy bits, and then started shooting little tiny movies. And Mr. Bill was one of the movies. And anyway, so you know what happened then.
Well, for many people who don't, I want to tell them. So Mr. Bill was a little claymation character on Saturday Night Live, a little sketch they did on Saturday Night Live, or in the early years of Saturday. And this Mr. Bill was like, before the internet, it went viral before the internet virality was a thing. And it was like this, I remember everyone was talking about Mr. Bill. Oh no, Mr. Bill. And there was Mr. Hand was another character. And like everyone talked about Mr. Bill because it was like this sketch on Saturday Night. It was a recurring sketch that everyone talked about. And so going to that, that was when I found out you were Mr. Hand. I was like, well, you're Mr. Hand?
Yeah, well, it's a very long and very frustrating story, actually. But I'll just tell you that we started in New Orleans, and we did these. We started doing nightclubs in New Orleans. This was before there was even a comedy club in New Orleans. This was in 73, 4, 5, 6. And so we would do these kind of live shows where we did comedy, and we showed our 8mm films. We'd set up a screen. And then when Saturday Night Live came on, we sent in a reel of our shorts, and they liked Mr. Bill, and they put that on.
How did you know who to send it to? Like, what do you mean you sent it?
Because they had a thing. Lorne Michaels said, "Hey, if you have some funny short films, send them to us, and if we like it, we might put it on."
Right.
So we sent them a reel of our shorts, and they liked that particular one. So Lorne aired it, and it was during Mardi Gras in New Orleans when it first aired. And Saturday Night Live was preempted for one of the parades, so nobody in New Orleans got to see it. But they invited us down to the NBC affiliate to watch it in the control room, so we got to see the feed.
Did you do several of them?
We did, yeah,
right.
We did, and then we had a weekly radio show in New Orleans. Called the Mr. Bill Show, where we did little sketches, and then we even did a local TV show, a few episodes.
18 when you were doing this?
18, 19, 20.
Kind of a big
and then once it was on Saturday Night Live, we picked up a third member named David Derrickson, and we got a loan for $3,000 and moved to New York. And got a 1-bedroom sublet, and we did the improv once a week on Monday nights. We would do our stand-up, and then we made a couple of other Mr. Bills. And after the second season, I decided to leave the act, and I moved back to New Orleans. And then our friend Dave, who was a third member, took over as Mr. Hands.
When you left to go back to New Orleans, what was it to pursue? At this point, what did you want to do?
Well, comedy. I went back to New Orleans, and I wrote a half-hour, another comedy show, a full half-hour like sketch comedy show, and cast it. And I got Loyola University gave me their TV station to shoot the thing in. But they said, you got 12 hours because 6 a.m. tomorrow morning, we're tearing up the studio to redo it for next semester. After we shot the first sketch, there was a power brownout on campus, and that was it. we were done. So I had no show.
Right.
I was really depressed. It's like, Jesus, this is, I spent months putting this together. And I just thought, God, show business kind of sucks. What am I going to do now?
Already.
Oh yeah. So I mean, what would you do if you were in that position? I thought, I'll join the Marines.
Right. I forgot you were a Marine.
Which is what I did.
Yeah, that'll be easier than showbiz.
I'm not sure which is tougher.
Yeah. And so you were, I forgot you were a Marine. Like, oh my God, like of all the branches, like I'll give me the one that's the hardest to do.
That's exactly what I wanted. I wanted a real challenge. And and honestly, I wouldn't trade it for anything. I'm glad I'm not still in it. But boy, does it give you discipline.
Yeah, I'm so surprised because you're not exactly, as a comedy writer, you're like anti-establishment. It's like it's odd to say, well, I'll just join the establishment, where I can't mouth off and I can't be a wise ass. I'll do that for 3 years. So you got out of that.
So I came back. I came back to New Orleans in '79, and with the intent of continuing in TV, radio, comedy, and I got a job as the morning guy at a local FM radio station. And in the meantime, some friends started a new wave band. There were just a couple of writers. They were journalists and could play guitar a little bit, but the whole new wave thing was happening. And they said, "Hey, you're a good musician. Why don't you join?" And so I did, and it was just going to be a little side project, and it turned into something like really, really big in New Orleans and in the South. We put out a bunch of records. We had some hits, and by '85, I couldn't go any further there. So my sister, who you mentioned, was living in LA, and she said, you should really come to live in Los Angeles. So I made the move. And it was to continue in music at that point. So that's when I met Gina Shock. And we formed House of Shock. We did the record on Capitol. And by '89, that was ended at that point. And that's when I transitioned back into being a writer.
And then, and how did you do that? Everything history, everything you've done sounds like a mystery. How did you do that?
It's crazy. I was painting. I'm also a painter a little bit, and I did a bunch of paintings. This couple came over to see some of my paintings. They were interested in buying one. The guy happened to be a showrunner named Carl Schaefer, and Carl Schaefer had a show on CBS called TV 101.
Okay.
And he had a place called the Fourth Floor on Hollywood Boulevard, on the corner of Cahuenga and Hollywood. What's that?
Above the pizza store, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And he had a deal with Hearst Entertainment, and they subsidized this whole floor and part of the second, and Carl rented it out to writers that he liked.
Okay.
And Carl knew that I had done Mr. Bill. We talked about that, and he said, you should really come take an office up on the fourth floor and just start writing again. And it's like, yeah, okay, why not? Yeah, sure. And he rented it for $125 a month.
Right.
You get an office, and so I got an office. I had no computer. I didn't even have a typewriter. I said, what should I write? He said, write a pilot. There's a comedian I like. Let's create a show for him. I'll tell you the format. So I started writing by hand.
Right.
And anyway, so I went through this process with Carl, wrote this pilot, and nothing happened with that. But
Right.
Carl then got a show called Erie, Indiana,
Right.
on NBC.
Right.
And he gave me my first job in '91 as a staff writer on Erie, Indiana. And he gave me 2 episodes to write of that. And that was my real start in TV.
Yeah, man, that's amazing. And then what happened after that? Because you've bounced around. I want to say you've done a lot of stuff, including we'll get to all this. We'll get to all this, but I wanted just for people who are listening, like to know what to expect. You were also a Daily Show correspondent, and like this is the first season, right? When it was just starting.
Well, it was no, it had been when Jon Stewart took over.
Right, when
That's
Jon
when
Stewart took over.
yeah,
But
yeah, I
I'm skipping
came
stuff.
on John.
Is there stuff I should talk about stuff in between? I don't want to, but I want to mention that because we're going to talk about that. But what happened
Sure.
next?
Well, then after Erie, Indiana, Carl got a blind pilot deal at ABC, and he asked me to create a show with him for that. So he and I created a show. We wrote the pilot called Lost Angels for ABC, and it didn't go.
Never do.
And yeah. And then my agent called and said, "Hey, you like Dick Van Dyke? You want to write for Dick Van Dyke?" Said, "I love Dick Van Dyke, sure." And it was Diagnosis Murder.
All right. You always wanted to be a doctor, so it fit right in.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, so I wrote a couple episodes of Diagnosis Murder, and then I think right after that was Mike and Maddie.
Was it
Right where
we met, and that was, man, that was a trip. I really did. I'm so grateful for you took me under your wing. It really was. What do I do, Vance? And we would sit in the morning. We'd come up with bits. A lot of them weren't used. I don't remember many of them making air.
Well, here's the thing. There was absolutely no reason to have comedy writers on that show. I mean, it was a morning show, and although Mike, he was a stand-up. He had been a stand-up and done warm up for sitcoms. There shouldn't have been comedy on there.
Yeah, but we didn't want to bring it up to anybody. Hey, why you shouldn't be any. You don't need comedy writers in this show. But I remember when I took the job, there was Tamara Rawitch, who was a producer, and she produced Living Color. And her goal was, and I was excited. It's my first job. She hired me, and I was like, fantastic. And but her goal was like she wanted to turn it into the morning to Letterman show, because it was like basically Letterman show in the morning. And I remember thinking, but Letterman had a show in the morning, and it didn't work.
But it didn't work.
Don't say a word. But yeah.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, that was the thing. Yeah, she sold me on the idea that this could be, a really cool, comedy show in the morning, and it just was not built for that.
No,
that particular show.
Recipes.
But we met there and went on to bigger and better things.
We did, and so that was the first job. And I felt rich for the first time. I wasn't rich, but I felt it because I felt like first time I had pride in myself. I was a comedy writer, and I think I was making like $50,000 a year or something. Felt really good for me. And then the hammer came out. And then what happened? What did you do after that? I remember I went home crying.
In the meantime, I was shooting little episodes of a mock talk show called The Fourth Floor Show.
Right.
At the fourth floor, which you remember.
I was a part of it. I remember you had friends help out, and some of your friends included George Clooney, and he was in it.
Yep.
And that was a really. I'm sorry that never went further than it did, because it was such an interesting show, and it was so. What's the word I'm looking for? It was like. It was edgy, but it was like also like it was kind of counterculture. It was a really interesting show. It was a talk show that took place in your office. That was the premise.
Yeah, in a tiny office where it was me and Alex Hirschlag, my sidekick, who had to share his microphone with the guest when the
Right.
guest came in. Because we had that one
And the
mic.
guest sat on the couch opposite you. I mean, the audience sat on the couch.
Well, the audience, there were 5 audience members who sat on the couch directly in front
Yeah,
of us.
I was one of them.
So the whole concept was take away all the niceties of a regular talk show.
Yeah.
And then we actually, I don't know if you remember, but we actually E wanted to do it as their 5-night-a-week late night show.
What happened?
And we shot the pilot and it aired, but it didn't go to series.
Oh, so you reshot a pilot for E? Not the one I was in. You reshot something. Oh, wow.
We reshot it. Yeah, with Robert Townsend. Robert Townsend was the guest on that one.
And so you basically rebuilt your office on a soundstage.
Yeah. Yeah.
How funny. Wow.
Yeah.
That's cool. And so, right, when that didn't go, you were obviously bummed out. Like everything's a matter of, everything's always a strikeout in Hollywood. You get close.
Well, it's all timing. If the internet had been around, that would have been the perfect thing to go viral.
Yeah.
These short episodes of this ridiculous talk show.
Yeah, you're right.
But it was not around. So
you ever think of dusting it off and doing it again for the internet, or why bother?
We had talked about it. David Steinberg,
Yes.
loved the show, and we did talk about resurrecting it years ago, but it didn't happen.
It takes momentum. It just takes momentum,
Yeah.
And so, okay, so then what happened after that?
Well, let's say then I wrote for a couple of sitcoms. I wrote for the coming out season of my sister's sitcom.
Yeah,
and then
it's funny. Your comedy voice is very similar to hers. And I remember you pitch jokes, and you go, yeah, that's exactly something your sister would say. That's the right tone. It's like you seem like you're the perfect writer for your sister.
I'd like to think so, but so I wrote for that, and then I wrote for a couple of, when she hosted the Emmys. I wrote for a couple of those. I wrote for a couple of Grammy Awards and a couple of Oscars when she did those.
So what is that like? Do they bring you in? Do you get an office and you're like, is there a small staff of joke writers coming up with bits? How does that work? I've never done an award show.
Yeah, it's a small staff. Well, she would choose who she wanted to write. It would be maybe 5 or 6, 7 people, and months ahead of time, she would have us start writing bits and jokes and send them to her weekly. Right. And she would go through them and, like this, I don't like that, and start honing in a little tighter on what she wanted to do. And then as it got closer, the week of, then you go down to the Kodak, and you have a meeting room where you're all sitting around writing jokes and coming up with bits, and the tension gets more and more as you get closer to the day. And I I was lucky enough to, besides writing, I wrote the opening song for the first Oscars that she hosted, where we had a gospel group come out on stage. Wow. And I wrote that song, so I had to deal with that as well as the other stuff, and that was a lot of pressure for that. But
global audience. Is there the part of my in my mind, like my fantasy, because when sometimes you're on a show and you pitch a story or a joke, and the actor goes, "I'm not doing that," right? And you're like, in my fantasy, like some people think, well, can the writer just make the actor say it? It's like, not unless they're a puppet. You can't make them say it. You can't put the words in their mouth. But my mind, like, because she's your sister, is there any of like pulling her aside and pressuring her? Did that ever work?
No. I tried when I write for Ellen, I always tried to make myself just one of the writers. I never wanted to have any kind of special influence. So
Right.
that was important that the other writers felt like I wasn't getting preferential treatment.
I would think that to the opposite. I would think that they say, "Come on, Vance, we all like this joke," like, But no,
Yeah. No, I really I thought it was important
yeah,
to make that clear.
right. And so, okay, so you did all that joke writing, which to me, I think it's a shame. Like I never got a chance to do that because I feel like that would be really fun and exciting.
And yeah, I mean, you'd be good at that. So if you get the chance, do it.
Never called. The phone won't ring for that. I do know some writers. Like I knew writers that wrote for like I don't know if they have them anymore. The ESPYS, like the ESPN awards. I'm like, get me to do
Right.
that show. I'll do that. No one's interested. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Like, isn't there an award show no one's ever heard of that they can ask me to write for? No. All right. And so then was it after that you did the Daily Show?
Yeah. So this I wrote for another sitcom, and then my agent called me and said, hey, Jon Stewart is taking over the Daily Show, and they want to know if you're interested in being a correspondent.
They want to know. How do they even? What do you mean they want to know if you? At this point, you're just a comedy writer.
Well, okay. Well, I mean, I skipped over stuff. So the Fourth Floor Show was seen by some other people. They cast me to host a show called The Beef, which was a show about it was almost like a Daily Show in a way, where correspondents would go out and talk, interview neighbors who had beefs with other neighbors, and it was comedy.
Right.
And I was cast as the host of that. We did the pilot. We went to Vegas to the.
How were you cast as the host of that? Did you audition? I mean, you auditioned for it? Because that's a big jump from behind the camera to in front of the camera.
Because they saw the Fourth Floor Show, and they loved the Fourth Floor Show, and they asked me to do a story for The Beef.
Okay.
So I went out as a correspondent and shot a piece, and then when it came time to cast a host, they asked if I wanted to audition to be the host, and so I said sure. No, not really. No, I just thought it would be fun, and because I was doing a character that I had established with the Fourth Floor Show.
It was very. Let me see if I can describe him. Well, how would you describe him? He was very earnest, very. He didn't have much of a sense of humor, right?
Exactly. Very earnest, a good guy, but the last guy you would want hosting a talk show.
He's the last guy. Right.
That was my character.
Right.
Yeah, and so I just did when I did my audition to host. I just did my earnest guy,
right?
And they liked it, and I got the job. And anyway, so we went through all this stuff, and it looked like it was going to go, and then it didn't. And then when the original Daily Show was going on the air, they brought me in. They were looking for a host for that. They brought me in to interview me for that. I didn't get that. Right. But then when Jon Stewart took over, they remembered me from bringing me in originally. Right. And so they gave me a story to go shoot a couple of months before Jon took over. So I flew up to Saskatchewan, Canada, and met one of the producers up there and shot a story. And then
your idea was the story. Like, how does that work when you're a correspondent?
No, that they had a story, and they assigned it to me. I guess they had.
Who do they figure out? I mean, you have to figure out what's funny about it, or you're just ad-libbing on camera.
Well, the way this worked was basically you're going to go up to Canada and you're going to interview this guy. He's a farmer, and he's in the Farmer's Almanac for forecasting the weather by licking pig spleens.
Okay, all right. So
That was so
funny.
that was it. That's it. I mean, that's the basis of the story. So so I met the producer. We drove 4 hours into the middle of nowhere and shot this story with this guy. I flew back to Los Angeles. They called a couple of weeks later and said, "Hey, we love the story. Can you come here in what's it, a week or 2 weeks?"
Right.
So I flew to New York. It was the Monday John started, and I worked with an editor and a producer editing the piece, putting it together, and then they aired it on the Thursday show of John's first week. And then the next morning they called me into the executive producer's office and said, "How soon can you move here?" And I said, "I guess I can be here in about a week." And I flew home, put my stuff in storage, and moved to New York.
How long was your contract? You remember?
Well, I was there. I don't remember how long the contract was, but I was there for 2.5 years.
Right. And when you were when you were working as a correspondent, are you looking for stories? Are you coming up with the edge and with the angle, what makes it funny, or you're working with other writers, or what?
Yeah, well, they've got writers, they've got field producers. So the field producers, that's their job, is to scour, wherever, looking for these stories. And so they would assign different stories to different correspondents, and then you'd be assigned this producer or that field producer, and then you meet with them and you talk about the angle you want to take with the story. Then you fly out and you spend a whole day with these people shooting the story, and come back and then spend a few days cutting it together, and then.
But you're doing it on the spot. You must be ad-libbing a lot of, you have to, right? That's just you thinking.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I would go in, I would write the opening stand-up.
Right.
We'd shoot that, and then I would write, a list of questions along with the field producer. We'd have this list of questions, and so I knew what I wanted to ask.
Right.
But everything else is just ad-lib.
Is there any sense of questions that you're hoping? Are you leading them at all? Are you hoping to get a certain answer? Are you hoping to corner them with an answer? The question, rather.
Well, sure. I mean, you're hoping that you hear something that you'll be able to, get in, some kind of a line, because you never knew, what was going to happen or what they were going to say. So, I mean, you're just kind of bouncing around.
And at this point, did the audience, or whoever you're interviewing, the guest rather, are they aware that they're going to be spoofed, or no?
Well, but you got to remember, this was early on in the Daily Show, so we were lucky in that most of the people that I did stories on just thought we were this Daily Show that did stories of interest.
Right.
And because if they're in on the joke, it's not as funny.
Hey, it's Michael Jamin. If you like my videos and you want me to email them to you for free, join my watch list. Every Friday, I send out my top 3 videos. These are for writers, actors, creative types. You can unsubscribe whenever you want. I'm not going to spam you, and it's absolutely free. Just go to michaeljamin.com/watchlist.
And so you make them. If you're done, you get to sign that release, and then you put it on the air. Is there any blowback? Is there any blowback? And like, wait a minute, I'm not supposed to look like an idiot.
I'm proud to say I never had one complaint. I mean, some of the stories that other people did complain, but I always tried, with all my stories, I tried to make myself look like the idiot.
Right.
As opposed to, I mean, it's not fun to like, poke a finger at, look what an idiot this guy is.
Of course.
Because for the most part, they were just very nice people who had an interesting or, weird story.
Yeah, right. Now, who were the other? Let's talk about this. Who were the other correspondents that 2 seasons that you were there?
Yeah, probably nobody that you've heard of. Steve Carell.
Yeah. Go on. I never.
Stephen Colbert.
Doesn't ring a bell.
Yeah. Nancy Carell, Mo Rocca.
Right.
Beth Littleford.
Right. And so you were in good company with it. It really was a great ensemble. You were, and that show was hilarious.
They were amazing. Yeah, they were all just so great, and all the writers and field producers were all super talented and funny, and just made it a great working environment.
Did you get a sense that there are writers or producers on the show that wanted to get in front of the camera?
Yeah, there were a few.
Yeah. Were they able to at some point, or are you not?
I think a couple of them did. And one friend of mine did a couple of stories and then kind of realized that he'd rather be back behind the camera.
Why? What was what was like? What did he discover in front of the camera?
I don't know. I guess he just wasn't as comfortable in front.
Right.
But very funny. Very funny writer.
And that was how you met. Obviously, you became close with Steve Carell, and then I imagine then because after at some point you ran his production company.
Yeah, if you want to jump, I left. Let's see. Well, I started in the end of '98 on the Daily Show, and I left in the middle of 2001.
Yeah.
And then if you want to jump ahead to when
let's talk about even leaving. Was it hard to leave? Anytime you leave a job or any kind of security in Hollywood, anything at all, it's scary.
Well, here, I decided that first of all, I was not really a New Yorker. I didn't care for the cold winters, and I'd broken up with my girlfriend of a year and a half, and my agent was saying, "Hey, aren't you going to come back here at some point and create your own show?" And we were kind of hearing some rumors that maybe John might move over to ABC with a late night show, and I just thought that this might be a good time to leave and go back to LA and try to create a show. So that's what I did. In hindsight, I should have stayed another couple of years probably, but so I left, and I created a show with a guy named Andy Lassner, who had a deal at Fox. Okay. Do you know Andy?
No, I don't.
He had a deal over at Fox, and he'd been a fan of mine on the Daily Show and said, "Hey, I've got this deal. Let's create a show together." So we created a show called Your Local News, that he and I wrote and I hosted, and we shot a pilot, half-hour pilot, and that didn't go.
Right.
So yet another show that didn't.
This is par for the course. It's not a knock on you or any. It's just this is how the business is.
Yeah.
You get an at-bat, and you can hit it out of the park, and they go, "You know what? We think someone else will hit it at the park further." This is how it is.
Exactly. Yeah. I've got so many of those shows that didn't go, but like a lot of people. Yeah. Then I produced a few other shows, not really even worth mentioning, and then Steve got offered a production deal at Warner Brothers, and he said, "Hey, would you be interested in running my production company?"
But what did you know about running a production company?
What do you have to know, Michael?
I don't know. I often ask the people sitting at the desk, "What do you know?" I mean, tell people what it means to run a production company.
Well, I think for Steve, he wanted somebody to run it who he trusted and who he knew had the same kind of sense of humor that he did, because we would be we'd be the comedy shingle at Warner Brothers,
Right.
And that's why he decided to sign with Warner Brothers. So he asked me and another friend of his, a writer actor named Charlie Hartsock. And so we became co-presidents of, he named it Carousel Productions.
Right.
So we had a deal for 6 years at Warner Brothers, and we produced Crazy Stupid Love, and what's that?
Good movie. And so, but how does it, and go on. And what are the other projects?
We did another movie called The Incredible Burt Wonderstone.
Right.
And then we did produce 3 seasons of Inside Comedy, a show that David Steinberg hosted.
Wow.
And we interviewed all these comedians.
Oh, it's funny. So that's how that came back. So all this time though, Steve is doing other projects. So, they're acting in other projects, but basically what it means when you're running his studio is like you're looking for scripts. If I'm telling me if I'm wrong, you're looking for scripts that you think that he would be good in. But he wasn't. Yes. Did you produce anything projects that he was? Wait, that he wasn't. Well, the Inside, yeah, that one you didn't, of course. But you're looking for script for him, and he's deciding whether he likes it or not. And then if he likes it, you take it to the studio and you see if the studio likes it, right?
Yeah, that's how it works. We would, we took lots of meetings with writers that that their agents would submit scripts, would read them. If we liked them, the writers would come in, would meet with them, and then if we liked it enough, we'd send it to Steve to read, to see if he was interested enough that we would produce it. But
was it so they would sometimes bring scripts to you, but sometimes it was a general meeting and they'd pitch you ideas too, right?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And then if they like it, and if Steve likes it, then you bring it to the studio, and then the studio's like, whether they want to put money on it or not. Sometimes I'm sure you had a deal where you could bring it to Warner Brothers, and if they don't, it's a first look. If they don't like it, then you can bring it somewhere else.
Yeah, and that happened a lot. Warner Brothers, not every project was right for them. So we'd wind up taking something over to Universal, and we wound up developing a movie over there, and then a movie. Charlie and I sold an idea for a movie to Lionsgate, and we wound up hiring David Javerbaum to write that. Do you know DJ Javerbaum?
No.
He was an executive producer on The Daily Show, and really funny writer. And it was a movie that had at start a North Korean, and we don't need to go into the whole story, but what happened with the thing at Sony.
My friend Dan Sterling wrote that movie. What was it called? The North Korean movie? What was it called?
I can't remember.
But it was him James Franco was in it, right? And they go to North Korea.
Yes.
And so Kim Jong-il took issue with it and hacked Sony and released everyone's private information, and that was the end of that. I froze it.
And then that was the end of our movie.
Right, because that could kill your movie, right?
It totally. They're like Lionsgate was like, there's no way we can touch this right now.
Yeah.
So
forever again. And so it has nothing to do with you. We sold a movie to 20th Century Fox called Only Child, and everyone loved it until suddenly there was another movie in the works called Middle Child, and I'm not sure they had anything in common other than the word child. And suddenly ours was dead. It's like, we'll rename it. Nope, sorry.
God, it's projects die for so many different reasons. But that was a pretty insane reason to have a movie killed. But
Yeah.
we developed so many movies with so many different writers over the years, and it's tough to get a movie made. Even if you have a deal with the studio, it's still tough.
With a major star attached to it, a major star willing to do this
Major
project,
star.
an A-list.
Yeah.
And it's hard to
Yeah,
get things made. And so, and you
Yeah.
read a ton of scripts, I'm sure, which is hard. It's hard to go home and read a script, right? I mean, you know,
Yes.
especially if it's bad. What do you see? I don't know. What were you looking for? I imagine some of these scripts were almost, I'm going to say something, I'm going to put words in your mouth, were almost written in crayon, right? I mean, some of them were kind of bad, or no?
I wouldn't mind a script written in crayon.
As a lark. I mean, there's a lot of, like, you read a lot of scripts that were, I'm sure, were not good, right?
A lot.
Yes,
A lot. Yeah. It's kind of shocking, actually, how many scripts we got submitted that just were not good. Certainly were not what we were looking for.
And how far would you go into the script before tossing it? How many pages would you give it?
I would give a script at least 20 or 30 pages.
All right. Generous, I feel.
I mean, if it was really awful, maybe a few less than that. But I would tend to give it 20 or 30 at least.
Right. But you're not going to finish it if there's no point. If you're not hooked in that 20 or 30, why would you bother when you have a stack?
And we knew the kind of stuff we were looking for, that the right tone of comedy. There's a lot of different tones of comedy, and maybe some of them were right for somebody else, but not for what we were looking for.
Right.
And in the beginning, we were really just looking for comedies, and I guess 4 years into our deal, the head of the studio came to our office and said, "Hey, we need you guys to really concentrate on looking for tentpoles," which was not what we were looking for in the beginning.
What is a tentpole? A big giant blockbuster?
A big blockbuster,
as opposed to a small. It's hard to think of a big blockbuster comedy. I mean, there really aren't. Are there? Comedies don't. We're not talking about like a tentpole. You think of as like a Marvel movie or something like that, or an action thriller, not a comedy, right?
Yeah. No, that's exactly right. I guess you could look at a film like The Hangover when that came out. Okay. That it was a little movie that just happened to do really well.
Yeah, but I know I can't imagine conceiving that. Oh, wait, here's a tentpole. Like, no, here's a crapshoot that just worked.
Yeah. So, but anyway, so we had to kind of turn the boat around a little bit and start looking for movies that had the potential to be more international, I guess.
Right.
They were very concerned.
And that is hard because comedy is hard for. So you're talking for international means, I'm guessing means broader, more physical comedy, less reliant on joke, less reliant on, well, maybe dumber, maybe dumb, maybe kind of dumbing it down a little. I mean, is that what that means? Broader?
I don't know. I mean, well, here's an example of something that we found that we developed as a comedy, and that could have been big. Acme. Mm-hmm. Acme, the cartoons with the Roadrunner, and
right.
We developed a live version of Acme, and the guys that directed Crazy Stupid Love wrote the script for it, and it was really good. It was funny and big, but
Acme is basically it was people running into walls and boxes, right? That's crates that say Acme on it that explode.
Yes,
that kind of thing. So it's very physical.
Yeah. And it actually would have made a really funny and a very big movie as well. Right. But we didn't get to make that either.
Right. Like, I mean, like,
But that's just an example of how it's like maybe we can take this and maybe this could be something that would be, appealing internationally.
right. As opposed to like Little Miss Sunshine, which he was in, which is a small film, small little character study that blew up somehow, you know?
Yeah, exactly. And nobody knows what's going to work and what's not.
Was it hard for you to make the leap to executive? I mean, it's a whole different, you're doing a lot of, you're making the rounds, you're pitching more, you're getting in that you have to get your lay of the land, you have to schmooze with other executives. I mean, it's kind of a, is that hard for you, that hard jump for you?
It was a little tough. I don't like being a salesman.
Yeah.
And there were times when, of course, we had to go out and sell.
Right.
The other part of it, I did enjoy meeting with writers and actors who would come in and we'd have great meetings. And we would be pitched their projects,
Right.
and that was fun when we found projects that we liked, and we would develop it with the writer.
Uh-huh.
So that part was very creative, and
Right.
and that was a lot of fun, and it was also so great, getting to run Steve's company, because he's one of my closest friends, and he's such a great guy, and he's so hilarious.
Yeah.
So if I was to run anybody's company, I'm glad I got to run his.
See, that's another thing. So when a writer comes, so many people, because I post a lot on social media, and so many people are like, I have a script I want to sell, and but I don't want to change a word. I'm like, you have, what are you talking about? You come in with an idea, you pitch yourself, someone else is interested, you play ball. It's like very collaborative. If you stay home, if you are not willing to take a note, it's
Yeah,
like,
no, I mean, you got it. Yeah, if you don't want to change a word, you better have enough money to finance it yourself.
yeah, right. You have to get people attached, and it's all about, yeah. So, what advice do you have for people trying to break in the industry today? I mean, it's changed even since you've left. There's the former production executive shrugs. I don't know. I don't know.
God, it's just so scattershot now. I mean, I think, but at the very base, I think it comes down to you have to want to do something. If you want to write, then you just have to write. Just like get a book on writing scripts and teach yourself, and just write. And it's not easy, because it helps if you know somebody to send it to, because you can't just send in scripts unsolicited generally.
Right.
But a lot of people get into it through doing improv, and then shooting little bits and putting them, if they go viral.
And that's basically what you did. I mean, your advice, what you did long before viral was a thing, was you just did it. And I used to tell everyone, stop asking for permission, just do it. Do it.
That's exactly right. Because we did the Fourth Floor show because it entertained us. It was something that if we could do any show, this would be the show that we would do. So we just did it.
Yeah. Right. You get a bunch of people that kind of want the same thing, and you do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then now you have this, but you're basically back to your first love music. I'm not talking about.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, after Carousel, after we lost our deal, I had a deal for another 9 or 10 years at Warner Brothers, and at Telepictures. Yeah, at Telepictures at Warner Brothers. There? I was developing TV shows.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Yeah. My deal just ended in October.
Oh, wow. I had no idea. And so you were okay. You were for Warner Brothers, but not on the production shingle, but actually just for Warner Brothers, doing the same.
Yeah. So all told, I was there for 15 years.
But at this point, you're more of a buyer as opposed to a seller if you're working on Warner Brothers, right?
Well, I had a deal to develop shows. So that's what I was doing.
Oh, your own deal. Okay. Did
Yeah.
you? Wow, good for you. That's unusual. Okay, you were okay. You had a shingle
Yeah.
basically. You were, that's what you
Yeah.
were. We weren't in studios.
Yeah.
You're okay.
Yeah,
Wow.
exactly. No, exactly. And then so now that my deal is done, I'm still going to take. I got a couple of shows that that I'm going to try to sell, but in the meantime, I'm doing a lot of music again.
Right. Right, and let's talk about that. You now, who's your band, and who are these people in your band?
The band is called the Light Jackets, and it's been my project on the side for the last 10 years. With the other bandmates are Eddie Jemison, who's a great actor. You'd know him if you saw him.
Okay.
Tim Ford is the drummer. Dermot Kiernan is the keyboard player, and Bill Angarola is the lead guitar player. And go ahead.
How often you guys meet and get together and jam and write and perform?
Well, we just released our fourth record about a week ago,
Right.
and we've got 3 EPs and 1 album that we've released over the past 10 years.
Right.
And so it's just, I mean, it's always been a passion. So I've never really stopped playing music. I've always managed to do it, in my spare time.
And so what happened was you posted this really cute video that you guys shot, and you did with all the puppets, and it was wonderful. And I saw it, and I go, let's talk about this. Tell me how that came up together. The song was great. And you know what? This is a perfect time. We're gonna play a clip from that song. We're gonna play it, and we'll come back, and everyone have a listen, and then we'll talk about it.
Every day would just be called Saturday, 'cause it's a better way. The outside world would never know that we were here. We'd have nothing to fear. A little nation will be our salvation. I know it's gonna thrive. Well, get up, stand up, come on, join our little revolution. Get up, stand up, we can leave right now.
So yes, the song, I love that song. You wrote that song.
Yeah.
This is one that you wrote.
It's called Our Little Revolution. And it's one of the 5 songs on our new EP. The EP is called Fall So Far, if you look for it on iTunes or whatever.
Yeah, where should we look for it? On iTunes, Spotify, everywhere?
Yeah, all the usual places.
Right, the Light Jackets band. Again.
So I decided that because of the theme of the song, which the theme of the song is really kind of about where we are in society right now, about how polarized we are.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to do a video with depicting real people in these angry situations. Yeah. But I've got some friends that have a puppet production company. They do these videos. They're called Rag Mop and Goose. And it's my friends Gus Renaud and Jesse Caballero. They're married, and they do these amazing little puppets. So I asked them if they would do a video for the song, and they did such a great job.
They did.
Yeah, really happy with it.
How long of a shoot was that?
It didn't take them long. We got together. I gave them a very loose outline, and then they came up with the rest. And then they went off and shot it and cut it together in. So
you weren't even involved in the shoot. You said, "Hey, good, run with this."
No, I was very happy to farm it out. It's like, this is what I'd like to to see. And then they went off and shot it, and I have to say, it's probably the first time in my entire career where I was sent a project back where I didn't give them one note.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
Did a great job. And so, to me, I'm guessing the goal of it was just to be creative and make music. That's all. That's it. But do you have are there other future ambitions? Is there more ambitions? Is there more you hope to get out of this? So
Just the enjoyment of being musically creative,
right.
and that's it. I mean, I'm under no illusions that I'm going to get another record deal.
Right.
You know, Capitol Records is not going to call and offer me a deal again.
Right.
But that's fine. That's fine. You know, it's a fun band. It's a good band, and we play live gigs, you know, like 2 or 3 times a year.
Right.
And we make our records, and that's enough. I mean,
Right.
it's just fun.
That's it. That's it. And that's why I'm always telling people, just do it. There's so much in Hollywood. Like, there's so much where you don't get paid. In Hollywood, there's a lot of work that you do that you don't get paid. And if you're not enjoying the work, well, this is not for you then. I mean, you have to be, you know, whatever it is, whether it's music or writing or acting. Like, if you're not enjoying it, you shouldn't be chasing the paycheck. You do it because you enjoy it, right?
Yeah, no, that's a good point. And that, you know, that's also good advice for people looking to get into this business. Is if you get asked, you know, to do a favor for somebody, just do it.
Yeah, because you don't know,
you know, yeah, you don't know what it's going to lead to, and
right.
you know, plus you're going to be getting experience.
Yep. What's next for you? You have a couple show ideas. You'll take them out. These ideas that you developed. Yeah. Warner Brothers must have really liked it.
It was my time was spent well over there. I like the people over there, and it was a good experience. And we may or may not still have one movie with Steve Carell over at Disney. It might be dead at this point. Charlie and I sold an idea for an updated Swiss Family Robinson to Disney,
right?
Called Brooklyn Family Robinson. And well, it's just a modern day version.
Right.
The family comes from Brooklyn, and we probably have gone through 4 sets of writers over the years. Because we sold it while we still had Carousel open.
But then why so many writers? Like, what happened? How does that work?
Because the writer writes the draft, you bring it to Disney, they say, hey, this is fantastic.
Right.
Let's bring in another writer to make it even better.
Yes. Right.
And then the writer you hire, you interview other writers. They give you different pitches on how we could make it even more fantastic.
Right.
You decide with Disney, okay, we'll pay this writer X amount to go off and write this new version. Right. They do that. In the meantime, this exec at Disney has been fired or left on their own.
Yep.
A new exec comes in that didn't know anything about this project. Right. You turn the script in, and they say, "This is really a fantastic script."
Yeah.
But why don't we bring in a different writer to let's try a little different thing.
That way, the executive put their own stamp on it, basically.
Yeah, exactly. And that happened, you know, several times with this project, and it's unfortunate. It would have been a fun project, but I think at this point, it's probably not going to happen.
The maddening thing is most executives, they tend to stay in a job 2 or 3 years, and you know, and then it's a shuffle somewhere else when their deal's up, and that's not a lot of time. The writer needs 6 months to a year to do the work. It doesn't leave a lot of time to get a green light. So it takes a miracle a little bit to get a movie made, you know.
Yeah. And that was the thing with Crazy Stupid Love. That was one of these movies that everything just fell into place.
Yeah.
That just never ever happens, because we were supposed to be doing a Steve and Tina Fey movie.
Right.
And Tina, right after the holiday break, Tina called and said, "Hey, I have to turn in this book that I have to deliver, the Bossy Pants book." She said, "I need to finish it, and we need to move the movie."
And that could
so So it's like, okay, well, that's a drag.
Yeah.
But Dan Fogelman had written this script that he sent to us right before the holidays. We really liked it. Warner Brothers liked it. They bought it. So when Tina said that, it was like, well, what about the Dan Fogelman script? So it's like, yeah, sure. So that immediately went into production, and we interviewed directors. We wound up hiring John and Glenn, and got it shot within a few months after that. Everything just kind of fell into place.
So the director didn't want to rewrite on it? Often they want to rewrite on it.
They loved the script that Dan had written, but they worked with Dan to do a rewrite. They did another pass on that, and made it even better. And then the casting just went great.
Right.
We just happened to land, the perfect cast. And the shoot went well. And yeah, it was one of these dream projects that just doesn't happen.
Were you on location the whole time for the shoot? You personally?
No, we were at Warner Brothers on a couple of sound stages as well as some locations. Yeah.
So see, that's the thing. When people want to be a screenwriter, there's a lot of, it's not going to get made. Sometimes maybe you get lucky and get made, but in my opinion, the goal is really just, can I get paid to sit at a desk and write and do something creative, as opposed to having a job that I don't like. And if it gets made, fantastic. If not, I can still do what I like doing all day, which is being creative and getting paid for it, as opposed to like laying bricks or whatever, that you don't want to do. So
Yeah.
Interesting.
So I think basically, I mean, to sum it up, I've been really, really fortunate. I've been really lucky in my career that
We've had many careers. That's the thing.
Yeah. I've been lucky enough to kind of bounce back and forth between careers. So
yeah. A creative life. Vance, thank you so much for doing this. It's so great to catch up with you. Everyone, go check out.
Pleasure.
Go check out his band, Light Jackets. Everywhere, I'm sure it's everywhere. Spotify, Apple.
Yeah.
It's on Google. You can do a Google search for it. Go listen to this music. It's wonderful. Thank you again so much. Don't go anywhere. I'm just going to sign off, and then that's it. All right, everyone. Thank you so much. That was a great talk. Stay tuned for next time. More episodes dropping every Wednesday. All right, and be sure to sign up for all the stuff we have. I give you to sign up. All right, everyone. Thank you so much. Be well.
This has been an episode of Screenwriters Need to Hear This with Michael Jamin and Phil Hudson. If you'd like to support this podcast, please consider subscribing, leaving a review, and sharing this podcast with someone who needs to hear today's subject. For free daily screenwriting tips, follow Michael on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok at Michael Jamin Writer. You can follow me on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok at Phil A. Hudson. This episode was produced by Phil Hudson and edited by Dallas Crane. Until next time, keep writing.